My deck is almost finalized. I think I have like 11 cards in my sideboard right now. But otherwise, I'm pretty sure I know where we're gonna go. I think we've been bouncing between 66 and 68 cards.
Nice. I had to talk myself out of doing a last second Kevin Broberg impression and just taking a random Hanji 2 pile.
Last second the impression. It's Friday. Like 6
Yeah,
days
it's
before
not.
the
It's
tournament.
not. Yeah, it's not the last second until it's 8 a.m. Saturday morning.
No, I just meant as far as like bringing this a pile of Hanji cards.
I mean, if
Oh, hell yeah, respect.
you can bring a pile of. I mean, I did that last year. I brought a bunch. I was ready to build Hanj if I didn't feel good enough about Ymir before the event.
Iggy, I am moderately excited. I need to figure out what I'm bringing, and then I'll be a little bit more hyped. But I'm definitely excited to see everyone.
I posted someone triggered me to think of the Steiner Math promo, and it starts with all men. They say all men are created equal, and one of the drafts I have for my Substack, or maybe this is even in the thing I posted about like on winning, is like, yeah, like at the start of the game, all men are created equal, and then you fight and one of you wins, and that's like, I don't know, that kind of got me going.
It's like people predicting sports. It doesn't really matter until the games are played. I mean, how often does a sports season play out the way everyone's predicting? Like,
Yeah, the or like, I mean, the NFL, right? Like I've seen a bunch of the stat of both teams in the Super Bowl were 60-1 at the start of the year.
yeah. I mean, you know, maybe there's like 10 out of 20 teams that you can ignore, and then you've got a 1 in 20 shot. So like you'll be right sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, there are certainly places like picking the Dodgers to the World Series is certainly going to give you the best odds, but they're not better. They're still not better than like 1 in 10, maybe like 1 in 5 if you're feeling really generous, and that's in a sport with like 30 teams total, and maybe only 20 that are really trying this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like the well, yeah, there's the base rate, right? Like if everyone was equally likely, what would the chances be? And then, you know, how much over that rate, you know, how many times over that rate are you like, what's your margin for improvement over the best team, or is the best team's margin over the next best teams or the worst teams?
Right.
Yeah, we're at that part of the baseball season where everyone's going over the computer projections for how each player is going to do, and you know what's the team projected win total. I feel like these things are never that close.
And even if they were, like, this is the other side of the pre-retention society. It's like, would you really want to know? If you just like, I remember, this is a deep cut, but I remember I'm trying to like place like what year of my life this was, but I remember like we would watch Early Edition, this like stupid drama network TV joint on at like 8 o'clock at night, that was about a guy who got the tomorrow's newspaper. And first he outraged by betting on sports by knowing what all the games were, and then he like did good with it, right? You know, oh, someone's gonna get hit by a bus, so he goes and saves them from the bus or whatever. And it was cute, but like, would that actually be something you wanted? Really?
Yeah.
There was a cat. That sounds right. Yeah. You're a.
Aren't
Are you like
kidnapped, but not in such a way that you can't watch the stream?
Maybe he's just like gooning in the bathroom to Forcheck's cast.
I don't like that. I don't like that. That's an image I didn't want.
Like sneaking off and sneaking some universe's content.
You would think that in between rounds means that he's at some kind of a card tournament, but it is actually a debate tournament of some kind.
Yeah.
It's a webcam
tournament? Debate tournament?
Are you kidding me? You could have dual monitored. You could have dual screened that shit.
That'd be
actually. Then again,
it might be like against guidelines.
Yeah, knowing Justin, he also might just like
we could have like commentated his webcam debate tournament.
Yeah, it would have been so
instead of doing this.
This is
Oh
what.
man,
This is a
dude.
shame.
I'm thinking
Yeah,
of
three people
on
have no idea
YouTube.
what they're watching, making Justin mad. It would be great.
That sounds perfect. That sounds like average Vortex night.
Like,
Just making
what does the
Justin
debate
mad.
coach even do? Just sits on his couch and like tell you that you're because you it's not even that like you can't even tell your kids you're wrong. Like you tell your kids you're wrong in the incorrect way. Like
Just chime in and go, hey, cut that out.
Yeah, it's like you can ignore the facts, but you should be more graceful about it.
so you're sitting at home on your couch so that you can unfairly judge the competition and get your kid one more point. Got it.
Uh-huh.
Hell yeah.
And not have to pay $200.
And make it look believable. That's the important thing. Is you gotta sell for it. It's really like everything's pro wrestling if you think about it.
I'm keeping this in the VOD, so there's evidence.
This is not legal advice. We are not in fact colluding.
I don't care.
You know, I mean, I think collusion's good actually. Like it's 2026. Like we should get over our collusion phobia.
That's fair.
Caluphobia. What's could be a better like Greek root word for this.
Is there some thread somewhere where someone's actively pro collusion, or is it just?
I'm just completely riffing on this.
Yeah,
No, I'm
You're just
certainly.
making it up.
I mean, this is really like a there are no rules anymore kind of riff.
Right. But there's
Like
at,
the
at
Supreme Court
least
just
yeah, at
the
least
Supreme Court just affirmed that collusion is bad, but we're gonna do it anyway. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least for the time being, until they find a different way to do it, and we get out of tariffs for a little bit.
Justin, shut up. That's like actually our MO. 13 minutes in, the actual podcast hasn't started yet. We've gone nights where we waited 20 minutes before starting.
Because we had to spend 10 minutes before we started getting things set up, because I don't do this very often because you're not here.
We start at 10, brother. It's 9:15. We're 45
Yeah.
minutes early.
We start at 9. The fuck are you talking
It's even
about?
8 o'clock your time.
Yeah.
Oh, he means 10 after. He means X10.
Oh. He's
Okay.
stupid. You have to
All
have
right,
a
let's
cold
try
middle
to
and the cold open.
get
Yeah.
underway and actually attempt to talk about UVS. Not that I know where we're starting, because this is kind of just we've talked a lot about like worlds and the meta and so on. We can talk about previews at some point. We can talk about Kevin's preview retention society. But I guess to that point, because I was just thinking about it when we was talking about it earlier, I think a lot of the time it is kind of fair to be like, I don't really want to see previews that badly because I'm focused on what's in front of me. I think it at this particular point in the season, at least in my case, when I've pretty much known my world deck for a while, and it's just like fine details, and it's not like I'm really practicing or anything. I'm kind of down to get excited about the post worlds world.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there are points where like we're mid like regional after regional after regional. It's like, here's the stuff coming out in 8 weeks.
Yeah.
This is the nature of the beast, unfortunately. But I mean, I'm all in on these previews because I'm a huge Godzilla fan. So whether or not I get to play with them now or later, I'm hyped to see stuff.
Yeah, how's the art for a Godzilla fan? I feel like a lot of times when it's art that's already been done, there's like a disappointment level there, but this does look pretty nice.
Yeah, so like the IDW comics, I don't really follow a whole lot because I just don't read comics. It's just a pain in the ass to keep up with comics these days because they're like maybe 20 pages if you're lucky, and half of those are ads. So
Mm.
it's like yeah, they to be fair, they always have. They're just a lot more in them nowadays. And they're like $5 a comic to get that experience, and I'm not a
It's
fan.
like $5. You have to go
Um,
obtain the comic.
Yeah, but like a lot of the Godzilla comic art is really good. Some of it's kind of mid, but like for the most part, it's all really good. And J Ray or Hitch and the team has basically found a lot of really good ones for cards. So I'm pretty satisfied with everything we've seen so far. I think the character cards, I wish they'd had a little bit more color in them instead of copying like the monocolor like thing we've kind of been doing.
Yeah,
But
I almost wonder if they like want people to want the alts by doing this, right? Like,
I mean, possibly.
if you really like a character, you should get the cool version that's in color, and we don't talk about King of Fighters.
Who? But yeah, I mean, overall, like I like everything I've seen so far in the set. Like even the cards that aren't like very good, I still think like the art is cool and everything else about them is really cool. I'm very excited for the set. We got the Godzilla dropkick. That's the best part.
Yeah. I tuned into Jeremy Ray. I tuned into the K10 with Chris Ness
Yeah.
and Jeremy Ray, and I loved that moment where he was geeking out about we had to get the dropkick in, so we got the dropkick
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, we found the comic book panel art for it.
Yeah, I
Had
think
to
the
get in
only
there
thing
somehow.
I'm a little disappointed about with art is that we don't have anything from Godzilla in Hell, as far as I can tell. 'Cause that comic is lit. It's got some crazy art in it, which is probably why we don't have any of it. But
So like a different publisher or something.
no, it's still IDW, but it's like it's got some crazy imagery. Nothing like not safe for work or anything. It's just weird. And like the whole premise is Godzilla like lost a fight or some shit, and he goes to hell and he has to fight his way out, and it's crazy.
Trying not to process the implication that it does exist giant lizard comic book arc that is not safe for work, as compared to this stuff that is not.
Oh, Tim, you.
I probably don't want to know.
I'm not going to tell you about the internet.
Justin just sent us a message in our Discord. If he's asking if he wants him to hop in on an audio only, even though it's a laptop mic. It's up to you guys.
Sure. I have no idea what a pass for judging Octos is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either.
Godzilla Hell does not actually imply that it's in Godzilla Heaven. There's a variety of kind of theologies where this is compatible. I'm realizing that unpacking that thought is actually just like stealing an idea that is like exposited over several hundred pages of this one really long web novel I read once, and I'm not ready to unspool that out of my brain right now. But as far as I know, in the Doom, there's I'm blanking. I'm gonna go blank on the word of there's like the word for the theories of salvation. There's like just the ontology, right? The theory of the existence of the world and what the pieces are. There's hell and doom, and then there's sort of an anti-hell where like there's the makers are from or whatever.
Right.
But also all of those guys are just harvesting energy from hell, and they're also like the huge assholes, basically. Like they're the antagonists of the story, turns out. And
the Pope is always bad.
Pope's kind of always bad, yeah.
Yeah, all right. So
yes.
I'm seeing some blinking green. Oh, am I supposed to be able to hear Justin right now?
Yes.
I heard him once.
Because I heard him. He's a little loud, but I can hear him. And it's not as scuffed as I thought it was going to be.
All right, how do I do this without getting doubled? We may get some double audio now.
Yay, double audio, are everyone's favorite.
If it's too bad, as long as it doesn't infect me and everyone else.
If it's too bad, I can always hop off.
We figured it out. We figured it out, I think.
We got it? Cool.
Yeah.
Yep, I just heard it.
I had to unmute the control room and then keep the room where I see everybody muted, and then find the volume control in the control room for Justin. I don't really know why these combinations of things works, but it seems to work. Anyway, hi Justin.
Hello.
What is a pass for doing Octos?
Oh, so I'm judging rounds, and the last round is Octo Finals, and they didn't put me on the judge Octos.
Okay.
Oh, so you're like actually done?
Yes, but
not relocated into a video setup.
My streaming location is 20 minutes away, so
you're at home basically.
Yeah. I'm at my apartment. Not my recording family house that has all the recording equipment.
Yeah, not gonna lie, your mic does not sound that bad.
Yeah, that sounds good. Fine.
If you could get like a decent camera, you could probably actually stream at home too.
Yeah, I actually have a spare. because I had to buy during the move. I had to buy a new mic and webcam, and I found my
Mhm.
old one. So I do just need to set up a streaming equipment. But I need a desk in my apartment first because I don't have a desk here.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we've been through this before. Unfathomable.
I mean, hey man, like you can just have like the like set up on your couch. Oh man, actually, that's kind of sick. I kind of want to. The problem is like all of our downstairs is like very open, and so if I was like sitting there yapping, it'd kind of like take over the entire space.
But
But like
anyway,
laying out on a couch sounds awesome. I would love to do a
right.
podcast like that.
So you guys asked me how I feel about the art. How do you guys feel about the Godzilla set that you've seen from what you've seen so far?
I like that there are all these risky encounter cards. I say that like
Yes.
there is more than perhaps it might just be the one, but
There's a couple versions of like jump through hoop, get an extra attack to play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's the remove for cost one as well.
oh yeah,
That
combined firepower. I hate get that out of my life. I no, please stop.
um
How many times
yeah,
do I
are
have
we
to teach you
talking
this lesson, old man? Like
are we talking do we like the set mechanically so far or
Just in general, like I was asked about the art because I'm a Godzilla fan. So
Yeah.
they gave me passing the torch back. I can die happy.
yeah,
Um
I'm very pleased by e-commit draw a card, also clear a face down from your pool if you happen to have one. Like that's just it pleases
Yeah.
me. It pleases
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Like Bridget can pop off if you
Yeah.
want to do that. I mean, I'm certain there's gonna be like some level of Bridgets and Violantes who are like running away from that card because they don't want the drawback of clearing the card pool, which is also awesome.
Like on offense, I think Bio's always going to want to draw. I think you can trade 1 damage for a draw most of the time on offense and feel fine and reducing your prog. On defense, where he's doing the if you're playing one that's doing the DR shenanigans, which I think is the way to play him.
You would.
Sorry. My bad. Don't cancel me.
It's how it is in Texas, guys.
I think like it would be really hard. I have to think a lot harder about would I want to give up -1 damage for the rest of the turn.
Sure.
Thank you for subscribing, Lenoco.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Well,
That is actually an endorsement that anything we say the company endorses. That's a joke. Don't
Yeah, I was
get
gonna say
mad.
don't make him ask for a refund.
yeah, I feel like there's a pretty good amount of there deadlock exists in this set. 90% of it is get a power token,
Yep.
which I think is like fine, I guess. It's not a how dare you go to 11 foundations, lose the game, idiot kind of thing. There is a bunch of how dare you cycle, lose the game, idiot.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I like Cycle Lock.
But,
I'm down for it.
A little
I
better
think
than
there's like a
deadlock.
positive externality of Cycle Lock that like I think that there's a pattern you see of like the kind of like the tall blade of grass in some beginner play groups of like the one guy who's playing control
Yeah.
and is kind of like counterpunching everyone and like isn't necessarily being challenged very much while farming a lot of wins. And Cycle Lock will make that person like put 95 cards in their deck because they never want to cycle, and that might nerf the effectiveness of their deck enough that it like balances the playing field.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I guess where I'm getting it is I kind of like the shape of the scaling in this set.
Sure.
Right, there's stuff like we mentioned the risky encounter type cards where like at some point when your discard pile gets to a certain size, you're going to be able to pop off and do some stuff. There's the stuff that scales up. Power tokens is naturally sort of a scaling thing. You build those up over time. So I like that there's a lot of that stuff built in, and it's a much more elegant, and this is sort of the way you're supposed to tackle the what if late games get out of control problem, is that you make a bunch of scaling cards that aren't, really, really brute force instruments like Unyielding was.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like there was. I'm trying to remember something like really clicked in my head of like, oh, this seems substantially in dialogue with something, and I'm blanking on what it was. But I love power tokens are awesome. I'm super down with that. I think I mean, some of them are like a suitable level of peak of like this is scary, which is good. You want to have a little bit of that. And I love that I get to play the like I'm not still not saying out loud what my symbols are on my character, but one of these characters has my symbols and is also appealing to my interests. So like that's dope. Um, I think and I like that there's a one check and that it's pretty awful. It's like pretty like I don't believe it's going to be viable at all as things
Oh,
stand
no.
right now.
Is that the one that readies
And
your character?
oh, there's two one checks.
Okay.
At least two one checks. The other one's it's like Godzilla in space getting obliterated by energy or something.
Something like that.
Yeah. The other one
And
check. Oh, sorry. I'll let you
I
finish.
was gonna say that I love the like people have been doing edits of it where it's like just completely washed out and irradiated and deep fried, and it like it looks dope as hell. And it's like if you ever check this, you would know you checked the one because your vision is swimming all of a sudden.
Yeah,
The
so it's
one
sort of like
check
the old
that-
explosion mark they used to put behind Bing Bongs. It's just the entire card.
Yeah.
The one check that just puts itself in momentum when blocked, I do look at it and I go, you could put a 2-check on this and it would probably see the same amount of play, which is very little.
Mhm.
This did not need to be a 1-check.
Just means
The ready your
Someone
ready
was
your
doing
char-
something heinous with it in testing. That's probably
Yeah, probably.
you
The
know.
ready your character is the one that I look at and I go, on one hand, this will probably never see play as a 1-check, but this also might be too broken as a 2-check. Like, ready your character if you have a commit character on symbol that has a really powerful commit card cost, can do some really heinous things.
Yeah, I mean certainly there's. I mean, I feel like that one probably has evil, and so it's like on with the Ghidorah who commits to draw an attack, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
turn my hand into the succession of 6/6 is like not great, but like it's not nothing either. There's
Uh,
potential infinite loop space in there, maybe, but
Here's a question I have since Tim, you and Kevin are both known deadlock haters. How do you feel about the deadlock in this set? Like, I feel like it's pretty
I remember there was
unoffensive.
I remember there was one that like that caught my eye of like,
Yeah.
oh
There were
yeah,
like a
that's like
couple that
foreseeable
jumped at
tier.
me. There's the Deadlock flood their card pools kind of a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Deadlock power token at like common is good limited technology. I think there's a bunch of dope limited technology in here.
Mm-hmm.
One of my
Yeah.
general mindsets, as someone who also hates deadlock, I know you asked for their opinions.
I didn't realize you hated deadlock as much.
I'm a big deadlock hater. That's why I liked unyielding, because I'm a bad person. When it comes to deadlock abilities, to me, generally, unless it's like a 0 diff or maybe occasionally a 1 diff, it
Mhm.
needs to be a card that's good enough to see play independent of the deadlock.
Sure.
They put
I
a-
think
Go ahead.
I think the best one for this is the Godzilla versus Biolante. That card has one of the best deadlocks in the set with the stuff one in their card pool and is passing like a weaker quote unquote, although there's a lot of ifs, asterisks to that,
Sure.
passing the torch.
Yeah.
Giving passing the torch a really powerful deadlock ability sounds very scary on a card. But
Sure.
I kind of want that. I want deadlock that actually scares people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I like the deadlock in the set because a lot of it doesn't say you lose the game if you go to 11. Godzilla versus Biolante is probably the closest to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at least like scaling pseudo speed is at least a little bit in tune with like, well, they have more foundations so they can block easier, so let's make blocking harder.
Right.
Yep.
As compared to some other types of things they can do. I also noticed I'm doing the like ultra search for deadlock. They have a deadlock ability on my Fool Me Twice reprint. I'll be excited to have that around.
Yeah, so what's the Fool Me Twice card? Because no one ever posted the image of this as far as I can tell.
Yeah, so it's a 1/5 too low.
Okay.
E flip Fool Me Twice, which is
Either discard pile?
either discard pile, 2 cards, bottom of deck.
Oh, Immense Showdown. Okay.
Yeah, Immense Showdown is what it's schemed. And the deadlock
And?
form is I'm trying to remember the old card for no reason, the Bebop card. But you can form sack it to pick up an attack with printed difficulty 5 or less from your discard pile.
5 or greater.
5 or greater, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Wait.
it's you can only grab
Yes.
missile launcher version of that jet card.
Yeah, are you thinking of Overly Dramatic?
Yes, overly
With the
dramatic.
deadlock? Yeah.
Yeah, overly dramatic's
Wow.
deadlock was probably one of the defining deadlocks of its time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, is Fool Me Twice actually a good card?
So it
If
is
you're
a good
asking
card.
me,
It is
yes,
a card for
absolutely.
good players.
Yeah.
It is a card for strong players who want to win the game with certainty. That card says if you dirtle around, you get to. It is a cheat code. It just says if you are about to cycle, cheat really
Okay.
hard.
Also, like the graveyard hate is relevant with this set. It's not
Yeah.
crazy, but like, you know, getting rid of someone's oxygen destroyer might win
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
the game.
Stuffing
Yeah.
Biolante's juries back in the deck. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we've like, I'm one, you know, I'm one of the people that's always higher on using these cards as technology, right? I'm always trying to fit the Jester card into decks. I was always playing Where's Your Smile Now, and the reason is that when in most metas, when you survey like the top 10 decks, if you were to identify 10 decks anyway, usually like 7 or 8 of them are getting some kind of value out of grabbing specific things from the discard pile. Like that is very often a thing that's happening.
Mhm.
And so being able to, on a spam, go shut that down, and particularly with this one because you get 2 copies, so it's not like, oh shoot, they have 2 of them, right? Like Where's Your Smile Now
Yeah.
is great until they have a second copy.
Right.
But this one, if they have 2 juries, great, we flip 1 foundation, there go your 2 juries.
And this isn't even unique.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I have built a not insubstantial number of decks who have like their strengths to like fight, you know, the Godzillas of the day, right? Like we're playing an aggro matchup, we're having a knife fight in the alley, whatever. We're getting dirty with that. And then for the people who are playing control decks, it's like, okay, I have these 6 cards, and I kill you with those 6 cards, and I fool me twice into the bottom of the deck. We have a long game of defense back and forth, and then I arrange to draw them, and you lose.
Really interesting. Okay. I see the arguments.
Yeah.
Because I saw that card and I immediately went, and this is, you know, playing in a different era probably, and not being as experienced of a player, just full disclosure. I looked at that card and said, man, this is the one you are. I really don't want to pull in the set.
I mean, I
And
think
you
it's
didn't play in an era where Momo was popular?
I was not good in the era where Momo was popular.
Yeah, I think when you look at this card initially, like I think it's easy to dismiss it, because like you might just look at that and it's like, well, what's the point of putting 2 cards on the bottom of my own deck, or like who cares if I put 2 cards on the bottom of my opponent's deck? And then you kind of think of like the meta that you're in, where graveyard hate is really good right now, with stuff like Devil Jin, Godzilla Titan of Terror, the Oxygen Destroyer card, etc., and just having a spam card with a decent block on it and a good deadlock form that can say you don't get to do that specific thing to me is fairly good.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, one of the frames of mind just on a card like this, and this is, I think, actually gotten a lot diminished than how it used to be. But, you know, once upon a time, you know, we didn't have so many playables in Standard. It was like, okay, I can play E-commit +2 damage kind of foundation,
Right.
or I could play a card like this. And it's like, well, would I rather have a okay option that's like fine in every matchup, or would I rather have a card that buys me, like, you know, say like in 10% of situations, in 10% of matchups, is going to be like, okay, this board position, like I was going to get killed this turn by an Oxygen Destroyer loop, and now I'm not going to have that happen.
Right.
Like, which is more valuable? Like, it's kind of a philosophical question to an extent. But a lot of times, like, you can, I think you net increase your equity by playing these more polarized cards that are going to do nothing or do very little a lot of time, and you like
Certainly with your like
swing
1
way above their
difficulty
weight.
spam slots,
Yeah.
you know, where there's a second ability and a real block on it.
Well, and especially
And also,
with the
like,
deadlock.
I think in kind of your defense, so to speak, I didn't think of this originally. I just saw like Garrett Brett do this, and it's like, oh
Right.
yeah, no, that is how that works. Okay, yeah, this doesn't cost very much. Like, yeah, I should do that too. And I'm like, wow, I sure was playing a very even, like, you know, no one's overextending, no one's making a lot of risks in this game, and I get to win it for free because I have this big lever to crack open this kind of petition.
And in fairness, like to what you're saying, like not only, so like I am of the brain of what you described with the +2 damage, where it's like my brain is I want my cards to be useful to some extent in every single matchup. I do not like when cards feel like they're not useful in some matchups. But in fairness, I do understand the argument that like, hey, having a card that may not be useful in a lot of matchups, but is absolutely game determinative in other matchups makes a lot of sense. And with this card having a good deadlock ability, that like is a very strong one. You know, pick up any 5 diff from your discard
Mhm.
pile, or greater if you have 6 diffs or 4 checks. Is a very respectable deadlock ability.
Mhm.
And increases your equity of matchups because now it's also the Dekus of the world who you're trying to string into. When they go into deadlock, you get to punish them for it. That
Right.
makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
Yeah,
like
and you have like you get rid of the deck building risk by it being spam with a good block.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, and it doesn't have to like your one diff doesn't have to blow them out and win the game. It can just like do something against
Right.
Rodon. This says he discards 2 cards, but he has 2 less cards because 2 of those supersonic flights are now on the bottom of his deck,
yeah,
or whatever, right?
sure.
No, it's very true.
If you just look at the Buffalo top 8, Mikasa, yeah, like not doing Mikasa, you can put the Koenma test on the bottom of the deck. Now she can't play it
Yep.
anymore, right?
Or you could put a
Or the dual needle
Koenma's
lunch, so you can't
and
text
dual needle
sack
lunch.
them, right?
Yeah.
Krista lived out of the discard pile. Devil Jin lived out of the discard pile. Hawks
That's very
lived out
true.
of the discard pile. Like, it's just when you actually start counting, it's so many decks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Sure.
and I think we talked about this a little bit on one of these casts a little while ago, but like I think this is a design space that they like. You know, I think a little bit of inference, but you can't necessarily read the minds of the designers. But I think this is a natural way that, like, using the graveyard as a resource, it kind of naturally scales up over time.
Yes.
And it's interesting to now it has like these interesting deck building trade-offs, and you're you're one like you put one of your 2 to target in your deck, and it's stuck at the bottom of your deck sometimes, or you put 2 or 3, and then you could get it more often at the trade-off of blah 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 blah. Like it's a good design space, and so I think it makes sense that we see it a lot, and that it's, yeah, as you say, a lot of decks are taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So I spent 10 minutes defending Fool Me Twice, but there are other cards in this set.
No, the rest of them aren't as cool, clearly.
Yeah.
I do want to point out one card that I don't think we've gotten a chance to talk about yet.
We haven't talked about a lot of
Pretty much,
previews,
yeah.
so probably safe.
Queen of Monsters actually scares me as a card.
Which
As like
one?
a design space for a card. If you're not aware, also for the chat, Queen of Monsters is the one that's going to be spend a momentum to build any foundation from your discard pile. Or alternatively, if you don't have a moment. Have you not read Queen of Monsters, Broberg?
Bro, I'm retaining my previews.
Yeah, it's spend a momentum, add a foundation from your discard pile to your card pool, and draw a card. And then you get to build a card from your card pool face up or face down.
That is a separate ability.
So it is separate ability. So in
yeah.
fairness, you could get Juno'd. It is built from your discard pile that could get Juno'd.
Oh, I just mostly meant for everyone listening that these are 2 different abilities. So it's not spend a momentum, do all the things. It's spend a momentum, do the one thing, then you always do the other thing.
That actually,
do the other thing.
I did see this one because I remember I commented on Sam's video that you can call me Jon Snow the way I'll be saying McQueen all the time.
The thing that takes this card from like really good to scary to me is the fact that you can play it as your second attack with no momentum and just say clear 1 from your card pool. Like, this is an incredibly powerful with momentum ability, and the fact that without momentum it is still a good card to play is really scary.
Dude, I don't think that momentum ability is even a tenth as good as just like the base rate of just, because it's like, yeah, you just attack and you build your attack face down. Like you're now -1 forgets to do the +1 resource. Like you're playing Momo, except it's all attacks.
Yeah. And
not to mention this thing is also just a 4 high 7 on top of all that.
Oh yeah, it's good stats. And it's got decent keywords. It's like ranged and charge. It's a charge range.
Yeah.
Those are like, especially range is a good keyword.
I'm trying to figure out if there's a loop here or if it's just really good, is to go something Queen of the Monsters Sensi's Ho.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to see that.
Yeah.
If there was like a Benny Maru, but it put it in your hand, if Kirishima 1 was here, you could have 2 Queen of the Monsters and use your entire once per turn just picking up Queens of the Monsters and keep putting it back and picking them up.
Right.
Air, you don't get to do it like over and over again anymore, but Air, you do get to do it once with Challenger deck Armin. Challenger deck Armin picks up a face down foundation.
That character is so cool and also so not cool at the same time.
And if you're on that symbol, like you're still going to get to do things like signal shot and things like that if you want to pick it back up.
Yeah.
Like this card has a ton. There's so many ways it has utility. There are also silly things you can do that I might take to locals. The funniest thing I've seen is like you tricky spinner, which is the Bridget one that puts a card, like picks up a card from your card pool, puts one in. You do silly stuff with tricky spinner to get a massive Mune Machine into your card pool, as well as pick up an attack, and then you build it face, because you can build a face down card from your card pool face up as well.
I mean,
That's
also
really-
Ocean Buddies.
Build MMM. Ocean Buddies is a much more normal way to do that. Biolante, if you're willing to play on a 7, can just build any card from their hand because they can put it face down their card pool and then play Queen to build it down. So again,
is Queen
if-
2 blitzes?
Yes.
it's 2 blitzes.
The
So again,
yeah.
if you are like a Biolante could, if they have Mass Immune Machine and any other attack in hand, they can go attack, put Mass Immune Machine in card pool, pick up Queen, play Queen, build down Massive Immune Machine. And that's fun. I don't know if it's going to be good enough to be played in Bio, but it's
But it is
very
funny. Yeah.
Yeah, this card, to draw a boomer analogy, this card reminds me of Slungsail Scarlet Meteor. This is
yes.
a
I can see
That's
that.
a scary sentence.
yeah,
Jesus
this card this reminds me of a card from Libra of Souls, guy.
Yeah.
It's not nearly as Libra of Souls as
Yeah, it's
Slungsail
not
Scarlet
nearly
Meteor.
as cracked, but I could see some similarities. I get that.
But I think that, I mean, or actually even maybe Momo's even a better example of, this is a card that has a lot of moving parts on it and kind of sells you a dream. And the truth is that it's also just a very blunt instrument. This is a hammer with like the ping pong ball on a string attached to it. And you'd be like, oh man, I'm gonna hit the ping pong ball with the hammer. And also you could use the hammer to crack your opponent's skull open. And like,
Yes.
one of these is a lot more likely to pass control checks, right?
Well,
Like,
I think a thing that is commonly missed, people talk a lot about Christmas Land, and Christmas Land is used as kind of like a dismissive term. Oh, this is a Christmas Land combo. It's not actually going to see play. But the thing is, Christmas Land combos are only a problem if you wouldn't run the cards in that combo otherwise. Like, this is a card that's base rate's very good. It's the blunt instrument all the time. Or occasionally you might find the Christmas Land combo. If I was playing Bio, I would not hesitate to run 2 Massive Immune Machines and say, hey, if I find them, they've got Deflect 3. They're decent in hand on defense for me. If I find them, I'm going to do silly stuff with them.
okay,
Like-
so if I have, this is going to be a very particular set of symbols, but we need to have Order, Fire, and one of these.
Oh, no.
We're going to have Manipulations of Zeke Yeager.
Yep.
We're going to have 2 of these. We're going to build one of them with the other one. And then we're going to put it on top of our deck with Carnival Barker. And then we're going to draw it with Zeke's. And then we're going to untap Carnival Barker. And then we're going to do it again. And then we're going to do it again. And then we're going to do it again. And then we're going to do it
Okay,
again.
hold on. I was with you for more of that. You did not explain how we're untapping Carnival Barker.
Carefully. We'll have all 4 on our stage. And really, like, if you do this once, your opponent's going to see the running. Otherwise, they're just going to scoop. They're not going to make you play it out.
Wait, but how are you untapping Carnival Barker?
We just have more of them.
Yeah, just the power of
That's the
belief.
dream. All right, so Kevin, you get Rio.
You get isn't oh, Armin doesn't have 3 symbols.
No, so you get Rio and Chu, and that's it in standard.
Really?
Yes, because the other Fire Order characters are
like
Bionic
Alpha
Menace, who has
yeah.
Void, Hans,
Just
who has
realized
only
that
one
my
symbol.
Stream window capture requires me
Yeah.
to stay on UVS Ultra. So I've been like streaming a subset of our stream in like some kind of a infinite window.
Paul Phoenix, who has all, Martial Law, who has water, Aaron Yeager, who has no third symbol, Brad and Lady Kima, who have life, Armin, newest Armin, who is only 2 symbols.
We
and
can
then
probably
Rio.
find something like there might be something else than Carnival Barker out there for this.
Yeah.
I tell you what though, I'll give you something. If you are playing it in heroic, you can play Endeavor 4. That'd be pretty fun with this.
You mean Endeavor 3?
Endeavor 3, sorry.
Yeah, there's a lot more characters who can play it if you expand to heroic or retro.
There are 2 more in heroic. It's Endeavor 3 and Fourth Kind.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm just looking.
but
I'm
in
not
retro,
looking at
I'm
the
sure
third symbol.
I'm sure there's a billion of them in retro.
Wait, I can play.
Oh no,
I can play-
Stone Man can do this.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, in proper retro, you can play. You can play Armor Expert, and this is a loop.
Ooh, Clark can do it. I don't know if that's good or not, but
I like how
Clark could do-
structured our stream is today.
I
Clark could
mean,
build it to Super Deadlock and then do this.
Yeah, we're just chilling and yapping.
It's kind of like if you're playing retro and you lose to a card pool infinite loop, like you deserve to lose. Like I'm sorry, like you gotta deal with that.
Yeah,
if you have
you're
no
playing
way
to,
to
like-
interrupt,
if you're playing to like be competitive in retro, you'd better be able to negate crap like this.
right?
Yeah, or like where's your cape of no return, dude? Like come on, you're not even trying. Are you even looping swordfish? Like what are we doing here?
Yeah, I also love how we're positing this combo for standard even in a world where like Hadir loops exist and are a million times easier to resolve.
Yeah, but Hadir is a much worse card that requires you to have momentum. And this card just says have Zook Monkey.
This card just says have 15 different cards and we can do it.
But like to overwhelm your opponent with an infinite volume of like the White House tier volume of crap, or it's just like is a good card with no inputs whatsoever. Have any object the entire game before it. And
Okay, that's the genuine truth of this card. Is this card's going to be so good when it's not doing Christmas Land stuff, and it enables a lot of silly Christmas Land stuff.
Yeah.
I think
the best foundation in your deck is Christmas Land enough for me. Just have a momentum and go get it. We don't need to be like bending over backwards to go like have cards in our deck that we wouldn't run otherwise, just to like, you know, maybe if we put 3 other pieces together, we can Queen of the Monsters this thing.
Oh my god.
I want it on record here. This will be the first card banned from Godzilla, barring something coming out more toxic in the next couple of days. If anything gets banned from Godzilla, I think this is the most problematic one.
Dude.
I mean, I will say that J Ray said it is on his watch list, but
yes.
How long it took Scarlet Meteor to get banned?
Way too long.
Like
it took me like not even entertaining anyone talking about Momo, because like obviously you have to ban Momo. She can play Scarlet Meteor among everything else. And also then they didn't ban it for like another year.
Yeah. I remember how long it took like Back Alley Hammer? It is a little hard to ban not that this is a purely utility attack, it's a 4/7. But
Right.
like cards where their power level is like they move a card around or something. They have a little tutor effect on them. Those cards usually take longer to be like, oh, you basically need to have like a win rate problem, because there's not really an NPE problem unless this is turning on turn 2s.
Yeah, if I like the card, like the vibes are too immaculate. Like they can't just ban that because it's too good. Like the game is too good. So like if they had to ban all those, they'd never stop banning stuff. They only ban the cards that are actually evil.
What utility cards have they banned recently? Does sweeping count as a utility card?
No.
Okay.
So even it's just a general good
Probably
card.
the best example is Titan Cliff recently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was very particularly turning into turn 2 kills, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that I have gone to bat on this a little bit of like I guess I'm like frustrated with discourse, but people with like every card that's gotten banned, there have been haters from day one, and they crow like they've been vindicated. They were correct to hate it all along. And in like the case of Titan Cliff, like that was a MobaGraph ban. That's not like we screwed up by ever printing this card. That's like our metagame is a little bit off kilter, and taking this one out allows us to keep the cards because like people are invested in their Godzilla decks, right? A lot of people like Godzilla. A lot of people like that deck. A lot of people invest their identity as Universus players in Godzilla or in whatever deck. And so having to ban like the face of the deck, having to ban the core cards of the deck, the bones of it is really brutal to those players. And Titan Cliff is certainly like a lot of people really like that card, have been committed to that card since day one. They could have banned Find Me Free for like 80% of the same like counterfactual material stuff, but it probably would have been less effective in balancing the metagame. And so like they don't want to ban Godzilla anyway yet. Yep.
Can I just say what I think it was a Bill Stark article.
Oh.
Which I know everyone hates the Bill Stark articles. I think if it was him and if it was someone else, I apologize for misattributing it. The most vindicated he's ever been, where people trashed on him, and I thought he was 100% right, was he said like if we never ban cards, we're doing something wrong. If we never ban cards, we're not making interesting enough design. And I think we've talked about it before, right when that article came out. I think we talked about it on the podcast next week because everyone like clowned on him. And
Not
I'm
for
sorry.
that take.
Not for that take specifically.
Oh no, there were bad people.
There's probably somebody because there's always somebody.
Sure,
I'm sure there are.
David Cord clowned on that, and granted, you can take how much you like David Cord's opinions to as a thought here. You know, but they were all like, no, a good designer should always be able to make balanced cards. I'm like, no, like you should push the limits of game design. Queen, I think might get banned, but I am glad that card got printed because I want to see what we do with it.
Yeah, and also there's a huge difference between banning something that you know for a fact is going to get banned and then banning something that's just pushing the envelope a little bit.
Yeah, and I think like there are a lot of reasons that balance is overrated. I think that there's a lot of it's a very naive idea that like every game piece should be equally as good as every other game piece. And I mean, one of them is like it's kind of fitting this card's named like the Queen because like in chess, like you want some of your pieces to be different than each other, right? For some pieces to be more central to the game, and there's again a lot of reasons for that. And it's not just that you want someone to open a pack and be like, "Wow, I'm happy," or you know, for your cards to be worth things. But that's a meaningful proxy for like how much excitement people get out of the cards, how much people get excitement, how much investment they get in the game, and having powerful cards and having games that swing differently when you see your cards versus when you're just playing generic interchangeable pieces. Like people don't like sealed because all the sealed games run together, right? You play 5 games and you're like, well, did I play 5 or did I play 3? I don't really remember. They were like the same outcomes.
100%.
And
yeah, I remember when I sort of handed off those back when I was doing design, right? And at some point after they wanted to take it back in house, partially because they were in a tizzy about Ever Hopeful, related to a previous conversation today. I remember I was told by the team taking it over, I won't name names and catchphrases on people on a podcast, but someone told me we're going to do such a good job, we will never have to ban a card.
Insane.
And it was over text, so I couldn't laugh in their face, but I was definitely audibly laughing.
And then Libra Souls happened.
Even if you were infallible and you set out to never have to ban a card and you made an interesting game despite that, well, yeah, even if you were infallible, actually was kind of negating where I was going to go with that premise, which is that you're going to make mistakes sooner or later. You're going to make a mistake, a bad assumption, a change without considering all of the, you know, the manifold spiderweb side effects of it. You know, 3 years down the line, 6 months down the line, whatever, there's going to be some card that comes out and it's going to cause some problems and you're going to have to ban something. You're going to have to go back and adjust your work somehow.
I don't even like the term mistake there because I think it is totally reasonable as a designer to occasionally go, hey, we want to change how the game is played and we think this card is a step in that direction. We don't know if it will change for the better or the worse, but getting the masses to play test it is a lot easier than us play testing it in private. I think there is reasons that is a valuable idea.
Yeah, that's another really good angle on it, is that there's, you know, 5, 10, 100, let's even say, be insane. And like there's 100 in-house testers who are going to hit it as hard as they can. And then the game, you know, obviously has to sell enough people out in the world who are playing it for a long enough time that it pays for those people's salaries. So there's 100, 1,000 times as many people playing the game out in the world and trying their best for a long period of time to break it, to find the crack that gives them a bigger competitive advantage.
Your players are always going to try and break the game the hardest, no matter what.
And I think I want to try to reframe what I was thinking earlier, because I definitely like put it exactly backwards. Even if you're setting out without the ambition to change the game, without the ambition to make, you know, with the ambition to make your cards equally balanced, make perfectly equally balanced. If you do that, you're going to still have some lumps and ridges. It's not going to be perfectly equal because there's too much diversity in the game. Maybe even like your players aren't all equally skilled, and so some of your players are going to naturally trend in one direction where it's like balanced with perfect play, but with like the actual realistic level of play. Like that kind of variance is just unaccountable for even in a perfectly analytical system, and that kind of variance can cause imbalance formats that can lead to needing to make bans, even if you're not taking the ambition to have exciting cards or imbalanced cards. And like it's a terrible endeavor for a lot of reasons, basically.
I am going to say it, and I will make some people mad maybe
Oh boy.
when they hear this.
Classic
am
I bet
glad-
this is going to be like a lukewarm take, actually.
It's
Is it a
like the
lukewarm take to
classic, like
say I am-
cameras off, like unaccountable, but like y'all are gonna really hate this one.
This
Is
is a
it a
lights out
lukewarm
match. We are not
take?
responsible.
Is it a lukewarm take to say I am glad Unyielding existed? Is that lukewarm?
It's I don't think it's hot and I don't think it's cold. Like
That is the definition of
yeah.
lukewarm. Thank
Well,
you.
I'm agreeing with you.
'Cause,
I
like-
think all Universe's cards are beautiful.
Well, 'cause
Every single
specifically-
one. Scarlet Meteor, Downward
specifically-
Spiral. My most hated. I hated Sweeping Daggers. Sweeping Daggers is beautiful.
The reason why I specifically say I'm glad Unyielding existed is because I think seeing what a mass board reset that is like repeatable, that in the way Unyielding is, was like very interesting for the game design of universes. Like I have had so many useful conversations, so many interesting conversations of like, yeah, Unyielding is too good. What is the way you hit this where like the stopping deadlock that it's doing could still exist without it becoming too problematic? And like, I think that is cool game design conversation. I think it is very interesting for the game that there was a period of time in which we had to interact with this card and play around this card.
I totally agree with you, and I think that's almost a good way to spin why I have beef with like errata conversations, because it's so much more interesting to have the conversation about the cards we actually get to play with, and we can actually look at and like turn and like consider from all the angles than it is to say, oh, I don't like this, and the solution is that it should be shaped the way I would like it.
Yeah.
Because like Universe is dope. Like I love this game.
I
We're all here for a good
remember
reason.
seeing David said that he was going to be the last player in Universes, and I'm like, no, Sean. Broberg will play if there's two people left. Broberg will be one of them.
Tell that to our 2-person locals.
No, dude, I will have a Substack ready for an audience of just David. That'll be the end of Universe.
Hey, at least you guys will get to play each other.
True.
You like click post and then the credits roll to sad music.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I keep
This
getting
may have
sick.
been before Justin came in, but I think part of my answer to that question would be like do a lot of the stuff that this set is doing, right? Try to have scaling win conditions, or at least like scaling play lines that get better as the game goes on, that are offensive in nature.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is one like Deadlock Breaker card in this set that made me a little mad to see it, but whatever.
I think it's like, I mean, isn't it just Deadlock Breaker 2?
Yeah, I don't understand Deadlock Breaker, but whatever. They like to print it
Sure.
sometimes. I want to shout out to Frenzy existing in this set. I like Frenzy. I think that's a pretty cool
Yeah.
keyword. I think it's put on some interesting cards in this set. We have a couple Echo
Yep.
cards too. I think that's a pretty good keyword. That's another one of those scaling. I guess now with tension, you're a lot more likely to have that on too. But generally speaking, right, it's sort of a scaling win condition type card. You need to
Mhm.
pass an extra check to be able to play the extra attack anyway.
Yeah, I'm like Tension and Echo. I think these are more like the Echo is mostly 5 diffs.
I think
Like, if
there's
you're
like
doing that
there's like
line-
5 diffs that get -1 if condition
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing.
I
Yeah.
will say, speaking to the general design of Godzilla, now that I have accepted that tokens exist in our game now, because I was kind of on the I don't know if I like tokens or not in Guilty Gear. Now that I'm like past that stage of grief, and I'm like, yeah, okay, this is a part of our game. It will always be a part of our game. I think I like the design of power tokens a lot as this like interesting, a different angle on momentum. Whereas like one of the things, early selling points or early ways I hear momentum explained to people is like you deal damage with some other attacks, or you do some other attacks, get stuff in your momentum, and you're charging up a big powerful move. And you're kind of doing that in a different angle with power tokens in a way that I think could be really interesting for decks in the long run, specifically because like you do it one at a time. And so you'll get to choose when to stop pressing that button, which will make playing through resets really cool and fun and skill testing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a generic enough one. Like I like Roman Cancel well enough, but that's never leaving Guilty Gear. we've talked about this before. I like that power is generic enough that if we decide we can push the envelope more in a later set, we can. We can do more with this token mechanic if we want to.
I mean, I think there's always enough design space that like they can do whatever. I don't know.
Well, specifically, I mean, like power IP wise, we can just put power in anything. You could give any set power, and it would make sense.
Right.
Like there is always a buff guy who does a thing.
Yeah, I will always like evergreen keywords more than IP specific ones personally. Just because
it's a bit of a vibes thing, I'm sure.
Yeah, sure. Like it's basically just like if we want to revisit it, we can, as opposed to being forced to not revisit it due to the IP.
Yeah, I mean, I think when they knew that, I mean, obviously when they were doing Guilty, they kind of knew that they were also going to put power tokens in this set, right?
Yeah,
sure.
And I think like internally knowing that you've sort of uncorked the bottle and you're just going to be willing to make tokens, I think I'm fine with Roman Cancel being IP specific. This is a really complicated and particular token to that IP.
Sure.
Yeah. I
it was also
wouldn't want that mechanic in another set just kind of shoved in there because we have to reuse our generic keyword.
Yeah, and I think like power tokens, like is an aesthetic thing. Like if if the average token is going to be like Roman Cancel, and we're going to have a new Roman Cancel like ability twice a year, that sounds like a nightmare. Right. I do not like the sound of that. But if we're going to have power tokens, we're going to have a pool of things that are kind of shaped like power tokens. Those are reusable, and then we'll have like in 6 years the new version of like retro, which won't have changed, but it'll now be like 15 years of retro. And there's like 7 or 8 Roman Cancel like things in there, and it's kind of overwhelming when you're getting into it. You learned
red, blue, yellow, and purple. Are you ready for green, orange, cyan, and black?
Yeah,
hell yeah.
And if you're diving into that deep end, like maybe you have to deal with that, and that's going to be hard, but it's just part of the history of the game at that point, and it's fine.
Right.
I also think there's like a little bit of an extent where like if power tokens were the first token you introduced, I think they would have been met, and I'm speculating, I think they would have been met very negatively by a lot of players. It would have been like, we already have powerful, why do we need a token, like a brand new mechanic that does this plus damage thing? And like, I think introducing tokens with Roman Cancel, here's an incredibly cool, incredibly unique thing that you could only do with a concept like a token. Have fun, play with it. Was almost like a gateway drug that now we can print more low-key token concepts that people like, okay, no, we accept tokens exist now. Here's a different angle of a token. I think it's easier to adjust to that now.
I imagine these were done. I imagine that wasn't like part of the rationale. I imagine they just felt like this suits Guilty Gear and this suits Godzilla.
Sure.
They're much more interested in matching the IP than they are in like sequencing the marketing of set releases for people that are so deep in the game and are clearly never going to quit that they're complaining about the order of the token complexity that you're releasing.
It is true that the number of people who complain, that some of the loudest voices that complain matter the least. And I'm saying this as someone who complains all the time, because I'm never quitting universes for any reason that has to do with universes beyond like, I can't, some incredibly awful things occurring. A mildly dislikable set design is not going to make me quit the game. So like my complaints in many ways don't matter. And I think that's true for a lot of David Cord or, main Cord.
Yeah, I mean, the most that might happen is you might not feel like flying across the country for a regional or something.
Yeah,
right.
Or flying to Europe.
But you're still going to go to the ones that you can drive to. So
yeah.
So I'm not. So it's like my complaints matter much less than the guy who we're trying to get into the game, or the people who are barely into it.
Yeah, and usually the things that I want to complain about are the things that like make me concerned for the players who are trying to come in. Right, like, oh, this is going to scare someone away because like Magic did something similar to this, and they're not going to enjoy that because that's why they don't like Magic or whatever.
I will throw a fit about demo decks anytime I get a chance, because that is a big problem for new players.
I mean, there's a lot of big problems for new players, and I think demo decks are a lot like giving new players Challenger Series decks is going to be very bad for a lot of people who are in that category. Like, there's people who can take it and who can act that, who are already expert gamers, can handle the complexity. But the gamers on the Universe Discord piled on Bill Stark for mental load, and he's right about that one.
There needs to be a middle ground between the demo decks that we have now, like the AOT ones and the like challenger decks that are designed for more veteran players. I think clash decks are actually a step in that direction. I think like the Tekken clash decks, for example, you could hand to a new player and they could understand them reasonably well.
Maybe not June, but Jin absolutely.
Jin, I would
Jin
hand
is
Jin to a
super
new
simple.
player and be like, hey, this is what this character does. Read the card effects. What it says on the card is what it does. You can pick it up pretty easy.
And June has such sick symbols for a bunch of shit. And
Now
if
she
they
can
punch
just
one of
get
your
power tokens and kill people.
Yeah.
if they punch one of your backups, you get to flood their pool.
Oh, we're going that way.
She's so sick.
Also,
You
like
just play
I,
Yelena.
Oh man, I'm so
It's a
ready to
Yelena,
punch some
mill
Sun Jinwoo
extraction.
backups. They were playing that
Yeah.
on Tam Street and everything. I'm like, oh man, those are some tasty fatal cleave targets.
but also Tim, you made a good point that hasn't been. I don't think it was said about the power tokens. Just stepping back a bit, power tokens are a good way to just find characters that never were able to give stats. Now they put stats on stuff. Like
Yep.
they're so much more viable now.
Yeah, I'm very pro stats from stage, and
Yeah.
there's certainly a way to start making stats from stage.
hmm
Have I screamed about the fact that we printed more forecheck attacks yet?
No.
Nope.
At least
We
not
printed more
on
forecheck
stream.
attacks.
For that?
Yeah.
And
He's
We
happy
printed
about it.
Is there one or is there more than one? Because
I
There
think
are
there are
two
two.
so far. One
Okay.
is like a one is the
I've got
13
three.
diff.
There's three.
3.
Oh, are there three? Oh,
The
that's
13 diff is a
basically
forecheck. There's,
Oh,
the,
right,
there's the
right.
blank filler
It
card, and then
is?
there's the funny
There's a 7
blow
diff,
power
yeah.
tokens card.
the I don't think the 13 diff realistically sees play unless we just get an incredibly powerful suite of infinity
Bro,
cards.
I'm gonna play.
It's going to
13
be
diff.
so hard not to play the Infinity deck at locals at least once.
Yeah,
Sure.
right?
It'll be a fun deck for sure.
Bro, it's a
Um,
0 mid block. It's sick.
I think the 7/4 6 mid for 6 that pops 2 to give you 3 power tokens. And also those 3 power tokens will also give 1 speed to it. So it's a 7 diff, 9 mid 12, 7/4,
Oh yeah,
9 mid 12.
that's real.
I'm like, that's a real ass
the
deck.
hell?
Like that card will kill people in normal decks. I can see a lot of decks where I will just slot that in if my deck's doing anything else because it will kill people.
Yeah,
I
you
think
treat
that
it
Bro,
like
that's
an
like-
action or
super
asset
fun.
slot. We have all these
That's
like
like-
staple actions rotating. Got to do something with those deck slots.
Yeah. Oh yeah, if you treat it as like a 4 check action that does that, that also could kill them if they're not careful. Oh man, that card's so cool. That card is actually probably my favorite UR so far.
Dude, it's crazy we have repelling fire. Like y'all know that large titan attacks exists and is like better than you think. That card's cool.
broad scale. I
It's
just want to
large and in
say
charge.
thank you to the design team for this set.
Yeah, like
This has been my favorite suite of URs in a set since I think Dark Tournament. I do not think there's a set I've liked the URs of as much as this set.
I also like that I was completely pleasantly surprised with the URs in the set because like the first one we saw was Burning Fury, and that one's just like generic. Here's some stats. It doesn't do anything crazy. It's like mill 8 on it, but it's not.
I think
Not
that might be
exciting.
the worst UR of the set.
I don't know if it's
honestly.
the worst UR, but it's certainly the least exciting. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, although with some of these discard pile scalar cards, suddenly milling 8's a little more enticing.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I just hate that it's mill 8, max 5 speed for each. Oh, I guess it's each attack in your discard pile total. I thought it was for each one you
Yeah,
milled.
the max-
Eh,
the
fair
max-
enough.
Max is at 5.
That makes a little sense.
The
Yeah.
max 5's a little cheesy, but you know.
It is a fine card.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think
fine.
there are any URs that I have so far
Fully
thought are,
disliked.
bad.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Uh,
that this is going to be a very silly statement. I think it's probably going to be the most impactful set for like playing competitive decks since AOT3, which is also to say I think it's going to be the most impactful set since the last set that Jeremy was the head designer on, right?
Shocker.
But yeah, he certainly knows how to position cards in a way that competitive players are going to be interested in them. And he tries to do that with a lot of his ultra rares while also trying to service, the newer players in the limited play at the common and uncommon slot and things like that. So
Yeah.
Also,
there
just
anything
like general kudos that he also made sure to put cards for the challenger deck characters
Yes.
in these ultra
Yes.
rares. I love it.
Yeah, I think people who I'm thinking one of our locals that's like a big Godzilla fan and was a lot more active when those decks were newer. I think when he turns around and picks up some of these cards, it's going to be excited to see that he can slot them into his challenger decks or not, or use challenger deck cards in the new characters or whatever.
Yeah. As a Kiryu, like the challenger deck Kiryu fan, I'm so happy that Blasting Off exists. I am so excited to try that character again.
I will
Yeah,
say
is that
this.
the 5 diff that just like first form cleared progressively somehow?
No, Blasting Off
Okay.
is the one that's after you play a keyword ability, draw a card, and it has
Oh, yeah.
has EX2 and Powerful 2, so you can pitch a card with Kiryu and draw a card, pitch a card with Kiryu, draw a card.
Pitch a card to don't do this, draw a card.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, on order you get to do all of the don't do this. You can play like this card's so good.
It's so cool.
There are a lot of characters that say give this attack stun 1, or cards that say give this
Oh,
attack
yeah.
stun 1, and they all convert into a draw with this attack. Like
Oh, Phoenix
it's
draws a card after he gives a stun 2.
Deadlocks
Yep.
on 3, Lamau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Krista
Yeah.
spins a counter and draws a card. Like, yeah, it's real good.
Yeah, that card's
That's
cool in other
delightful.
places. I'm just happy that it exists as a Kiryu fan.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, can we stack more powerful keywords on this somehow?
Probably.
Bug Bite scares me very slightly as a card. Though that's the one that after you block with it, you get to ready your character.
Oh yeah,
It's really good.
It's really good. It's really good in Mothra. It is
Really
going to
good
be
in
one of the
Deku.
reasons why Mothra will just never die once they get access to momentum. You'll
no,
have
like
to
high
make-
attacks are banned, dude. It's fine.
Yeah.
This card
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
have a block.
Thank God. What's that card? What Infinite Potential? Thank God Infinite Potential is rotating. Because the idea of like Deku flashing Infinite Potential, block, ready himself to flash the next move, I think would make me scream.
Nobody, yeah, I guess that's fair as far as the flash part goes, but nobody tell Justin that we still have an enhanced speed and infinite potential.
It is at enhanced speed. That's fine.
That's fine. Like Deku can block more than once.
No, there are going to be hands where Deku like flashes the first move, blocks it normally, plays an attack, you enhance, flip it to high, blocks with this, ready his character, flashes the next move,
Yeah,
and I'm just not going to have fun. Like it's
Sure.
just not going to be a fun turn.
That's
I'm
a, that's a
gonna be
Deku
mad.
problem, not a Bug Bite problem.
yeah, oh,
No.
sure.
Yeah. Although Mothra does the same thing. Mothra taps her character to completely block.
Yeah.
Minus
Sure.
his 2 speed the
Hey,
next move.
just keep them off momentum, Justin. It's fine because it requires a momentum to ready your character.
And man, that's so hard. That's so hard to get momentum.
Hey,
now.
on those symbols, it's a little bit harder.
I mean, like if you're not playing Radiant Visage, like that's a you problem, really.
Fair.
Momentum Hate's so good.
It is a
I
good
love
card.
Momentum Hate.
I am sad that House of Cards is rotating because that's a really fun momentum hate card.
Says the Tyner player.
True. True.
I get to play that card one last time at Worlds.
Yeah.
Are you playing Tyner at Worlds?
Are you saying Tyner's the only deck that's allowed to play a 1/5 unique?
I am
Yes.
not saying that. I am asking if you. Oh no, you're playing Peak. That's right.
Y'all, what should I play at Worlds?
Oh yeah, we were
Oh,
gonna have
gosh.
that conversation. Broberg, run back Hanji too.
Yeah, just build a Hanji 2 pile. Do some mutant machine stuff with her.
I think Broberg thinks Mass Immune Machine's a gross card.
I mean, sure.
Lame.
It's still good.
It is. I say it's so lame while in my heart of hearts thinking about, yeah, but I want to play a 20 damage Beast Titan throw, which is like actually much lamer.
Yeah.
As someone who played Hanji 1 for a few tournaments that could do that, no, it's not lame. It's so much fun playing a 20
Dude,
damage.
I love
Beast
Monkey
Titan.
Flip. Yeah.
It's
Also,
so much
like,
fun.
I want to see some Hanji 2 with what is it, Warhammer Titan attacks. That card's cool for her too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went through this in text, but my answer is kind of twofold. If your objective is to maximize your chances of winning, despite having played, I think, less than 10 games of UVS this calendar year, then you should build some sort of Death Blow Up Your Foundation's Greater Goal Power. It could be any of them. You've played them all. You've played Peak, you've played Hanj 2, you've played Erwin Smith. Any of those that suit your fancy, because you're very comfortable and familiar with that kind of deck at this point, and you've had most of your success the past couple years have been with those decks, right?
Mhm.
With a few other exceptions, and some of those exceptions, like the Zeke deck that you played in Toronto, are kind of dead right now, right? They don't get that deck needed 9 times a lot. So that's the like optimize for winning, and if you're not that interested in optimizing for winning because like whatever, I've won 2 in the last 3 years, I haven't really practiced whatever, then like I don't know, pick something that's rotating that you've always wanted to play that you only have one last chance, or chase some meme fever dream and put it, build the Cerritos Godzilla that you've talked about a bunch or whatever, right?
Oh my
and
god, I forgot about
and
Fortress
like put that
Godzilla.
through the paces.
Broberg, can I make a recommendation?
Yeah,
I want to
that's what we're
see
here for.
someone. I want to see someone take Benny Maru Ultimate Combination, who is good at the game, to a tournament
Bro,
before it rotates.
I'm
bro,
sure I'm sure there will be people on that deck.
I want someone who's good at the game running that deck.
I if they asked me, I would say that's the deck that Jeff should be running. Out of it's in the bag of the things Jeffrey Kahn might run.
Sure.
I think
yeah.
that's probably the one he should run. He might run Tyner instead, but we'll see.
Justin, I forget if I left this in that article. I think it was in the part I left out that was way more ranty. Like, you got to respect people who play the game. Like, everyone's good.
everyone can kill you. Also, yeah, just to echo chat. If I don't know if it's your play style, but play Isla. She's so fun. I have been playing that deck at
It's like
locals because I haven't really tried super hard, but she's so fun.
that's probably like the first thing I do when I get before the next local afterwards. That's, I guess, provided we have any that aren't pre-releases.
Right.
I definitely want to
True.
build and play Isla. I just wasn't gonna spend very limited pre-worlds reps on it.
She definitely like feels like she's probably missing something, which I probably just haven't figured out yet. But she feels
Power
really
tokens.
good. Yeah. But she feels really good into like some of these like meta decks, because some of these meta decks rely heavily on their foundations, and when you get to say no, the hell you do not get to use that foundation, it feels great. And they don't know what to do
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, I sure do like target flipping things and taking my opponent's options and playing all the seal guys. Like, I always want to put Starbazer in my, like, if I noodle playing Rodan, it's like, yeah, I gotta put Starbazer in my deck because I want to target seal stuff.
Also, she does in fact get Megalomania on Void, and that card's also fun.
Star Razor is one of those cards that I think like does not get enough attention. I think it's such a good card.
I'm
So
playing
one
in
I
Isla.
extract.
I think blue, green, purple card stonks are all going up after rotation.
Oh yeah.
I think every single one of them that's not, because like Barrier Shield and Runaway and some of those like Showdown are just like taking decks like Fierce Wings. You should play a Fierce Wings deck before it rotates. Have you actually done that?
Uh,
I have. I played it in Nagoriyuki.
Yeah,
Picking up Thunder Spear felt really good in that character.
I just know Kevin's
I'm
been
not
very
sure I've
excited about a
played
lot of Fierce
one.
Wing piles.
I'm not sure I played one in a major.
Yeah,
I'm
you
actually
have to
fairly
have one
confident
run
I have
locally. Yeah.
not. Or I know I got Jeff
Fierce
on
Wings
it. I know I
Irwin.
got
I
Jeff
don't
on
I
it.
don't I don't know how this works, but Fierce Wings Irwin.
Yeah, no, Fierce Wings Irwin is definitely something. It's, you're playing Order, which is not very good at killing people, relatively speaking, I don't think. It doesn't have the easy buttons Death does, but I guess you're still just playing Greater Goal, so that's certainly not nothing. I think the big thing with Greater Goal is that I really like Team Hero 15, and there aren't a lot of overlap for those.
Oh, yeah.
That card's, yeah.
And like, there's certainly an element of like new toy syndrome, and then like, yeah, there's a lot of good sort of anti-meta shaped things. I think I know, so what's the lay of the land? So like the boring deck end of the spectrum is like, there's like Deku and Tyner, and Deku can plausibly kill
There's like
people two
Deku,
ways
Tyner,
with
Rodan,
or stuff. Yeah,
Mikasa, Bird if you think
yeah.
Paul's converting people.
I do believe in Bird for people who are going to be Bird players. I do not believe in myself to. I'm not allowed to do the trap again of like, cope. I will play the aggro deck with half heart. Like, I'm gonna make it like a Brover take of the aggro
Yeah,
deck,
right.
and like not test it, and then it's gonna be half-hearted, and like that's not a winning plan. So, yeah, Blocking Universe Irwin is that I do like Blocking Universe. That is a good ass card. What was I saying? Yeah, so like the boring end of the spectrum, we have those guys. We have I think like Tyner and Deku are like I should find someone to TTS and like just smash Tyner into them and see how miserable of a time we both have. Because I think it's plausible that a lot of people are going to show up and have decks that are not necessarily ready to get Tynered. That's just a sideways thing that I think can beat people in the deck construction.
There is a substantial number of people who believe Tyner is not good. Like that Tyner doesn't know how to kill people and things like that. And I think those people are wrong. I think the Tyner weakness is like he has a really bad Deku 6 matchup, and he has like probably a 50-50 Mikasa 4, maybe 60-40 Mikasa favored. And so it's like you are rolling the dice a bit. You're not going to run into the two biggest decks. I do think Tyner gatekeeps a lot of people who are taking decks that don't prepare for him explicitly, like the reuse of the world and things like that. I think Tyner just bullies the crap out of.
And that being said, though, I also think that at least on day one, which I guess, Kevin, you don't have to worry about that. On day one, I absolutely expect there to be a handful of people who are on Tyner because they think he is good, which I do think he is relatively decent. But they're not going to know how to kill people or not know how to play the game, and they're going to go to time a lot.
You do
Yeah.
need to be a player that understands the nature of forecheck decks and
Right.
how they change the way you play.
They're not all
I
going
have-
to be forecheck decks either.
Sure. I think the forecheck deck is the only one that actually kills people. I think the other
I
ones
think
are
that's
really,
a crazy take, but yeah.
you think
If-
the other
if you're-
because
if-
you don't think it kills, or you think other versions kill?
I think if you play a forecheck deck because you think it has good offense, you are lying to yourself. Like concretely, like that is you are making cognitive errors and on copium, or you're attacking a metagame that isn't trying to make you not do that.
My answer with forecheck decks is forecheck decks solve the operative problem of Tyner, which is that his draws are not that good on his good symbols. His draw cards are not that good on his good symbols. And so you need the attacks in hand to individually be more powerful. And I do not think there's a good suite of 3 checks that do that.
I just think that I'll frame it this way: like if you told me I'm going to play forecheck Tyner, build whatever you want, and we're going to have like some crazy handicap match, I would much rather do that matchup than play against a Tyner who has Patrick Hades in his deck, for instance.
Sure.
I think it's a much easier matchup, and I will just deck you every game for 6 weeks that it takes us to play 5 games.
Interesting.
But
also, I will say, like, you don't necessarily need a full attack suite when 4 walk the dogs can kill a lot of people.
Sure.
But in any case, yeah, like the exact shape of Tyner. I assume that you're on the evil camp. It's like evil or pleasure forecheck.
I think the non-evil versions of Tyner lose to a person who dedicates time to build. The evil version can answer usually when it gets into its full loop, it can answer about 4 foundations a turn semi-reliably. And so your opponent has to be able to build more than 4 to get anything on you, and that's a hard ask for a lot of decks. Whereas the order version, you can just say, I'm going to build to 20 and then kill them.
And I mean, yeah, assuming that the order deck is being passive and whatever to
and
do
like
whatever you want to it.
Yeah, the order deck's just like sitting there and waiting to lose. Yeah.
I mean, I think my general assumption is that the games are never like this kind of wall deck. The games are never as tidy as you want them to be. If your opponent is playing to make them not be tidy, right? If they're like being very respectful and treating you like you're Godzilla and you're going to kill them and you're front swing them and like I have to hold every block zone every turn. Like yeah, they'll fall behind or whatever. But people who are trying to win don't usually play like that, especially in that kind of matchup. But anyway, yeah, I think I definitely had the thought of I could play Mikasa. And then I hear people talking about how they're playing 17,000 pieces of Mikasa 8, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna make sure I don't lose to Mikasa, and I have X matchup percent, X number of games testing the matchup, and like this is what's important, whatever. It's like,
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Mikasa ends up being like 5th down the list of day 2 registrations, because it's that problem for everybody. Anybody that wants to play Mikasa hopefully they have some changes they've made to the deck to believe that they can counter the counters.
I
Which-
mean, it also means that's a good card to add to her. But also a lot of the time, and on day 2, I don't think this will be the case, of course, but a lot of people think one answer to Mikasa is enough, and it's not going to be. That character
Yeah,
can fight through one piece of answer
is-
real easy.
Tam is very much of the belief that that deck can play defensively enough that it
Yeah.
can wait to find a string that plays through the answers.
Yeah, and I think we had a little thread of this in one of the Discords the other day of like everyone always hyper focuses on turn 2, and
Yeah.
is like, and some of that's that's the most remarkable, that's the most surprising, that's the most
It's the most memorable.
emotionally powerful moment, very frustrating, whatever. Yeah, memorable. But like Mikasa is Godzilla shaped, except she has even fewer cards. Like she's not going to just top deck this stuff on turn 2 very often. But the strength of the deck is that it's hard to kill. It's 35 life. It has blocks all over the place. It has all these other resources to counterplay. If you have a specific plan, if you're walking into the tech, if you're walking damage resets, it plays peak universes, and it plays the game with you, and it fights you, and it also has this looming inevitability of the attack turn that never ends once it gets the big stage built up. And like, I mean, that's appealing. Just I'll play, like, if I gotta play long games, like that's why I played Hanji, right? Like, and then Hanji had a good offense that didn't exactly go forever, but could go long enough, and especially if I got close to the deadlock and whatever. And so like that's certainly appealing, and kind of the meme of like, hey, I gotta like, no one's playing Greater Goal in Mikasa, but like I could fit it in 1 and like 2 for team 15, right? Like I'm sure I kind of believe sort of the analysis that it's not a very good fit, but I do like that card too much. So, and I feel like I had another deck that's kind of like somewhat strongly being considered. That's kind of, again, like it's not a Bertolt. I might just be thinking of Benny Maru actually, is like I have the extreme slow decks, like I'm gonna defend in all these ways and be hard to basically try to beat people who are underprepared for my kind of defense with Deku and Tyner, and then like maybe we play some competitive fighting games in whatever ways of people who are ready for that. And then kind of Mikasa is like the aggro slanted center of the spectrum, and then Benimaru is like, okay, I'm gonna get paired into Tyner, and Tyner's gonna be like, haha, I locked you at 6 foundations forever, and I say, here's 14 attacks, perish. Like,
I will say the Tyner decks do have enough answers to card pool clearing. Runaway is a really good card for that character. And Ichigaki is a thing that card plays. But even
I mean,
still,
if you trade your Ichigaki for my walking weapon, that's like fine, I guess. I can say that's the favorable exchange to you, actually, in that particular case. But there's a lot of cards in that deck. I don't know.
And also, the good versions of the actually Tyner locks you more to like 5, but that's still something you can play through. I think it's 5, right? Because it's 6 or more that the thing does. The thing
War Pleasure, probably, yeah.
Yeah, 6 or more.
Although the times where I've been really mean with the deck, I've gotten them down to more like 3 or 4 foundations for a while, because you double King of Iria after warped pleasuring them, put foundations back in their hand. But yeah, basically yes. That's why the Mikasa matchup is not like easy for Tyner, is because Tyner does just to get to go, or Mikasa just gets to fart out her hand sometimes on 4 foundations, even through Double Breaker 2, and still kill you. And there aren't a lot of decks that can do that level of aggro.
Yeah,
I mean, we've been practicing to have decks with that level of aggro this whole. I mean, Unyielding was just legal, right?
Yeah.
Most of them, it was a lot harder to play through Double Breaker 2 on top of it. It's hard for Deviljin, for example, to play through Double Breaker 2, even if it can normally kill on 4 foundations.
Yeah, I mean, it's also the format that bred Mikasa, right? To your point.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely entertain playing Ymir. Ymir is really cool, and
yeah,
I think
it has some
Ymir
good
actually
attributes.
might be very good right now. Ymir would be a deck that I would pretty heavily consider right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if she doesn't explode to the aggro before she transforms, I think she's great.
Yeah,
I-
and like if you just like put it like you can totally just play Genghis Frog with your hunters and allies, and
Yeah.
like if they overextend, like you become a +5 damage. Like that's a 4 high for 10 hunters ally. If they're not in position to block stuff, like they can
Yeah,
just
and
die
you
from
can
that.
still make the aggro work harder and
Right. Of
raise the
course.
bar for what they need with like Hadir
Yeah.
blocks and Keiko's Aid and things like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, it was Hidir in particular. It's like yes, a break or two block, and like I can just put Dream About Fighting in my deck, and
Yeah.
if that ever comes together, that's sick.
Right, so like the hour 20 mark, probably
Yep.
wrap
Been
it
a
up
good
here. We
show,
could
yeah.
get to our weekend. Yeah. I don't remember how we close shows. Any shout outs?
No
Or
shout
is Kevin
but
posting anything on his Substack soon?
yeah.
Yeah, I posted a couple things, and I have like 6 more drafts, and I've been sick this week, and also like, to the extent I'm in like, hey, that's like the universe stuff. It's like I should really build a world stack, and I haven't. But
Yeah, every time you think about doing something other than building a deck for UVS, you're like, what am I doing?
yeah, and actually, I did. If you go to builduvs.com, I have a life tracker that I'm gonna probably do some redesign on the visuals of it or whatever. And I also put the card search back in it that may or may not actually function right now, but maybe it isn't functioning. But we wired some stuff up, and it's kind of neat. So check
Right.
that out if you want.
Yeah. For my part, I have a YouTube Satonis. Stuff there is just getting progressively older. I do have an idea for a video that I want to post like afterwards that I might do, or that I might flake out on, but there will probably be another video on there like at some point in the next 2 months.
Yeah. Just gotta get to it.
Yeah.
Justin, would you like to plug anything?
How's your debate kid
yeah,
doing?
I guess technically I did something on Double Mulligan by sending messages in the chat.
Yeah.
No. As soon I am planning when tournament season finishes up. There is stuff I want to do with the channel, so you might see me plug stuff at that point. But I'm not going to do any plugging until I actually commit to doing something.
Sure.
Then I will plug.
You didn't answer Tim. How's your debate kid doing?
Oh, he actually just got his last point to make TFA state. So
Hell yeah.
Hey.
which is the whole reason we were doing this tournament. So we're very happy. That's part of the reason I zoned out was my student has been messaging me in a panic because he just made
Hell yeah.
happy
Alright,
panic, but panic.
Yeah. And I'll wrap us up. You can check out our VOD channel at youtube.com/4checkscast. This episode will go up on Monday. So if you missed the first half of it, I mean, there's not much to miss. It's just us aimlessly yapping for an hour and 20 minutes, but it'll be on there on Monday.
Yep.
All right. I type in like
otherwise,
/raid channel name.
Yes, /Ray Tam Cardwell probably.
Or Chris, either one.
Yeah.
Brody
Tam.
won.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Say hi, Chris. So that takes like 10 seconds, but yeah. Anyway, have a good weekend, everyone. See
Yeah,
a lot of
running
you
us.
at Dallas, and
Yeah, feel free to come say hi.
Peace.
Bye.